sorry. And there was no power here. Let's switch over. Yeah. After that. Everybody can see me, hear me, right? Yes. Yes.
Yeah, yes.
Yes, Vanita. Yeah, we can hear you.
We will start with the Punjab, right? Pocharam for today. We'll go with this week, Pocharam, our classes, followed by the horoscope. Okay. Guru in the Mithuna, Shukra and the Ketu in the Simha, Surya in the Kanya, Mangal and the Buddhan in the Tula, Chandra and the Rahu in the Shani in the Meena. Okay, awesome. Anybody have this combination? The Chandra Rahu combination in the Kumbha? If you have the exact combination in the Chandra and the Rahu combination, then the Kucharam is also having the same combination. Fine. See your health. How it was, your health was really good, and your health is not in a good position, a good state. Okay. And same goes for the people who have the Kumbha Lagna, Kumbha Rasi, or Kumbha as the 8th house. It's a wonderful day to watch out. Okay. Let's get into the Pancha. There is a Trayodasi, followed by the Chaturtasi. Nakshatra is a Sadapisha, followed by the Puru Bhadrapada. Yoga is the Gandha, Vithi. Karana is a Taitale, Garaja, and Manija. Big days are Ravivara, Paksha is a Shukla Paksha. Okay, now we understood about the Lagna Lord in the 12 houses the last week. Okay, now we are going to find out the second house Lord. I forgot to continue the which we spoke in the before starting of this class. Okay. The homework about the 11th Lagna Lord in the 11th house, that was my understanding. If you try to find out any answer, please share with us. Okay. And about the 12th Lord, why the multiple support, that you have to find out. Okay, let's come back here. Dvitiyadipati. Dvitiyadipati means Dviti. If you mention it as a Dviti means it is a 2. Okay. Adipati means second Lord. Second house Lord. Or you can say is a second house Adipati. That's why they say it is a Dvitiyadipati. The means here mention it as a 2 only. The Adipati is the Lord. Okay. So that is the second Lord. If it was hard to mention, you may mention it as a second Lord. That's more than enough. We already know. Anybody remember about what is a second house signify? Anybody?
Family.
Mostly when we
Speech.
talk about the speech. Yes. Then
Food also.
Family.
mood.
Liquid asset is second.
Liquid assets. Yes.
Yeah.
Also. Then somebody was saying something. What is it?
Food.
Food. Oh, okay. Food. Yes. Awesome. Then
Bank balance.
Liquid assets and bank balance is same. No?
yeah, this comes under the liquid assets. Your bank balance, the cash in your hand, which assets you can quickly make it as into a cash. Comes under the liquid assets. Okay, unmute everybody. If you want to speak, you can unmute anytime. Okay. It's combined with everything. Your speech, liquid asset. Liquid asset is whichever you can immediately convert into the cash. Okay. That comes under your bank balance, saving account, or whatever it is. If you have the smallest tenure fixed deposit, it also comes under your liquid assets. All kind of your domestic happiness. Importantly, note here, this is not your happiness, it's your domestic happiness, it is your family happiness. Your happiness comes, yeah.
Last time is what I did confusion. Second Lord in say the our so Lagna Lord in earlier what last session we said we have gone through in Lagna Lord in the first house, second house, third house like that. Now the same Lagna Lord is in the second house. That is correct, no? What you are telling? Correct?
Exactly. No.
No,
You're going to
no.
see the second Lord in all 12 different houses. Wait, we'll come back here. We'll come back into that.
The example,
But
second Lord means painful.
don't worry. First, understand the second house. We'll go one by one. I'll definitely make you to understand what is the meaning of the second Lord in the 12 houses. Okay.
Okay.
Keep that
Thank you.
mind in the last classes itself. Now we are discussing about what is the second Lord only. I'm not getting into that. We are just warming up only. Okay. Second house, we already know about that. Second house is the speech, your domestic happiness, all kind of your liquid assets, your food, everything comes under the second house. If anybody was asked, if you're revising your lessons also, keep that in mind when the second house speaking about the speech, wealth, and your domestic happiness or food, if you are very interested in food. Okay, keep that three things in mind. If many information was overwhelming you, make these three important things in your mind when the second house comes into the picture. Okay. Now, very important thing about before we entering into this second house, a second lord in different houses. First thing we have to understand, the second house is the benefic sign, and in second house means wait a second. Let's take this one as an example. We are not entering into it. We are still seeing introduction only. I took this Kumbha Lagna. Kumbha is the Lagna. Which is the second house here?
Meena,
Meena is the second house, right? Who's the Lord here?
Jupiter.
Jupiter is the Lord. Okay, now we understand about which is the second house. For the Kumbha Lagna, Meena is the second house, Lord is the Jupiter. There are three things we understand, right? So one is the house, which is the Rashi, and who's the Lord. So two things, sorry. Now what we have to understand, if the second house having any benefic sign, that means the any benefic planet was here, we'll have to consider that one. Other things is any good planets are aspecting this one. If once you understand this point, then this will give the tremendous increase the auspiciousness, and whatever the things which comes under the, you may have the liquid assets, it will be you will have the enough liquid assets in your hand. Your speech will be very much clear and especially crystal clear when it comes into when you are speaking, communicating with others. You won't be overwhelmed with number of the thoughts in your mind when you are speaking. If the second house is occupied with the benefits, okay, this one point is clear. When the second house auspiciousness is increased, your speech will be crystal clear and you can communicate to n number of the people. They won't confuse whatever you are speaking. Okay, you won't be there will be not any scarcity of the money. The money flow will be not in the moment. You won't be feel a scarcity in your life. The liquid assets will be really good, and the food you definitely will become interested towards the food, or the food is always there is no scarcity of the food. You would say like that also. But at this moment, when the second house benefits or auspiciousness increased, the good things will come. What are the good things comes into your life? Your speech, your liquid assets, the money flow. What are the things which is coming into your life? Think that. Okay. Or else, if the other scenario, if the second lord is in the Trikona, okay, now the second lord is the Jupiter here. Now come back to this example. Imagine a situation, Kumbha is the Lagna, second house is the Meena, which lord is the Jupiter. Now, anybody tell me which is the Trikona for the Lagna, Kumbha Lagna? This is the one. What is the Trikona first of all?
159.
Awesome. Which one is this? Is 5? Yes or no?
Yeah.
This is 9, right? Tula
Yeah.
is the 9. Now, the Jupiter was sitting in the 5th house. One scenario, okay? The Jupiter was sitting in the 9th house. That means the Jupiter was second house lord, not as a Jupiter, not the Graha, second house lord sitting in the Trikona. That means it's sitting in the Lagna itself, or sitting in the 5th house itself, or in the 9th house. That is a Trikona. This is the one scenario. If the Jupiter was sitting in the 159th house, or now the second house, whenever I say Jupiter here, remember your second house lord. The second house lord can be anybody, depends upon your lagna. This point is clear, right? If your Kanni lagna, who is your lord? Imagine a
Venus.
situation. Venus is
Mercury.
your. Okay,
Mercury.
this one is clear, right? Whenever I say second lord means you have to consider your lagna. Okay, now I come back here. Or the same second house lord was sitting in the Kendra. 4. What is the other one? 7. 1, 4, 7. What is the other one? 10,
10.
right? Kendra. If the second house lord sitting in any of the houses of the Kendra, 1, 4, 7, 10, that means first house, 4th house, 7th house, and the 10th house. That is considered as the immensely, the peoples are rich. They are oratorial power. That means they say the peoples are really good in the speech. Okay. These 2 points are understandable. If the second house was good graha was placed, or the auspiciousness is increased, or the second lord was placed in the Kendra or the Trikona, then the particularly the auspiciousness in your life increased, in your wealth, in your speech, in your food, everything. These 3 things are mainly important in everybody's life, right? This point is understandable easily. Yes, no. You got
Yes,
confused.
it is clear. It is clear.
Now, mainly these 3 things. Your face. The face is also represent how the first house is represented by the head. The second house is your face. Okay? The face, your speech, and the finance represented by the second. Now we are going to see how the second house lord will be placed in 1 to 12 houses. Okay? It is good if you want to speak at any time. I will mute. Okay. Super. Here is the thing. Now this is the Mesha Lagna. Now we are really getting into our lessons. Now this is the Mesha Lagna, which is the second house here. This is your second house, right? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. Now who's the lord here?
Venus.
Venus. Now when this Venus is present in any of the 12 houses. Now, again, now your Lagna is the Mesha Lagna. You born on the Mesha Lagna. Your second house is the Venus. Your second house is the Rishabha Rashi, whose lord is the Venus. Now, the second lord is the Venus here. Now, what we are going to see in upcoming classes and today's class also, this second house lord sitting in first house. Now, imagine a situation. You are the Mesha Lagna. Venus was sitting in the Venus was in the first house itself. This is understandable. Your second house lord sitting in the first house. Now another situation will come. No, the second house lord sitting in the second house itself. Another scenario. There was another situation will come. The second house lord will sitting in the third house. Or the second house lord will sitting in the fourth house. This is clear? Goes on till the 12th house. The second house lord can be sitting in any one of the 12 houses, right? Yes or no? Somebody was asking that question in the beginning. Who's that? Is this understandable?
Yeah, got it. Now got it.
Awesome. Okay, now I will give you one more example also. Now you will tell me where to place, where the second house lord will be placed. Okay. Now this is a Karka Lagna. Okay. Which is the second house here?
It is
Simha.
Simha, Leo,
Sim. Who's the lord here?
Sun.
Sun.
Sun is the Lord.
Sun. Sun.
Now, the sun was placed in here. What does this mean?
Sun is
In your
Second
chart,
Lord sitting in
sun was
first house.
placed. Second house Lord was sitting in your first house. This is easy. Okay, I will give you one more example. Now the same Karka Lagna, second house is your Simha Rasi and the Lord is the sun. Now the sun was sitting in where?
Second house.
Sun was second house. Okay. Now we'll give another example. Now we'll change the Lagna itself. I go with the Vrikshaka Lagna. Who's the second house here?
Dhanus.
Who's the Lord here?
Jupiter.
Okay. Now Jupiter was in your Lagna. What is this meaning? This is your chart. Imagine this is your chart. Vrikshaka Lagna. Jupiter was posited in it. And who's the Jupiter here? Your second Lord. And what you can say this?
Second Lord in first house.
Second Lord in first house. This is easily understandable. I will give you one more example. And this is the Rishabha Lagna. Who's the second house here?
Kataka. Mithana.
Mithuna Rasi, right? Who's the Lord here?
Mercury.
Mercury.
Mercury, yes or no? Okay. Now, the situation comes when the Mercury was placed in the Karka. What is this meaning?
Third house. Second Lord in third house.
Second Lord in the third house. Now imagine this situation. When the Mercury was placed in the Lagna itself, what does this mean? In the Rishabha Lagna, second Lord was placed in the Lagna, right? That means second Lord in the first house. Yes or no?
First house only.
So this one was coming correct. Second Lord here is the Mercury was placed in the first house. This line is understandable? Yes, no?
Yes, yes, Vanita.
Awesome. Now the same goes for again. Now we are going in previous classes what we learned. Lagna Lord was placed in the 12 different houses, right? Now we are going to see second house Lord placed in the 12 different houses. First house, second house, third house, till the 12 houses we are going to see. This is clear, right? And this one particular line. Okay, now we are going to see. Same thing whatever we did in the previous classes, we are going to do the same thing. Now what we are going to combine? We are going to combine the second and the first. Okay. Before we are entering into this one, there was one common general rule. And there was this 1 and the 2 combination. If there was any relationship between your first house and the second house, the wealth will be flow into your life. There is no scarcity of the money flow into your life. The money will flow one or the other. This is what you remember. This one common general rule. And there was a connection between the 1 and 2 houses. This will happen for sure. Okay. Now we'll see about what we already know about is what the second house was. Anybody remember it, right? Your speech, food, domestic happiness, your wealth. That means your liquid assets, everything comes under the second house. What is the first house here? What is the first house represents?
Personality.
Your
Personality.
individual personality, yourself, your image, how you are, how your personality will be. That is your first house. Now we have to see the first house. We already know about it. What is the first house? We already know about what is the second house. Now we have to consider the second Lord. The second Lord then here the confusions will come. The second Lord can be anybody, right? Among the 9 Navagrahas, anybody can become your second Lord. Okay. Now that how I can differentiate between the Navagrahas was there. I know everybody was having a different personality. How I can predict, I mean, how I can analyze or come into the conclusion, the second lord in the first lord. These are the general things first to understand. Then we can combine this general into the graphs. That will be later. Okay. Whenever there was a second lord in the first house, the general. Whenever there was a second lord in the first house, they are very pleasant, charming, and charismatic and attractive. Why this one was coming? Why the pleasant and the charming, charismatic, and attractive things comes when the second lord in the first house, regardless of whichever the Navagrahas was present. Why? Anybody? Okay, you remember second house is also your face, right? When that kind of the physical character was present in the first house means they're pleasant in appearance, the charmingness, the charismatic nature, the attractiveness will come as the built-in feature for them. Give me 1 second. After that. So when the second house is also represent your face. So when that lord was sitting in your first house, these people are very pleasant in the looking, charming and charismatic, built in nature for them. Then it's kind of them, they're manufactured like that. Okay, then it comes into the Navagraha phase. Imagine the Mercury is your second lord, like we see the example here. If the Mercury lord is a second house lord, then the Mercury placed in the Lagna. How the person will be. Now imagine, use your imagination. Now this is your this is your you can whatever you can analyze from here. This is an example. Rishabha Lagna, your second lord is the Mercury. Mercury was placed in the Lagna. Okay. Now how the person will be? This person will looks like a aged person, or this person will look like a matured person, or how he will be, or how she will be. This is the general truth. These people look pleasant, charming, attractive, yes. But how you can combine this Navagraha here?
Very intelligent because of Mercury.
No, check your physical appearance now. Intelligence comes next. We'll come into the intelligence later. Now
Okay.
compare against with your physical appearance. Now the Mercury was pleasant. Mercury was present in the Lagna. He looks like a young, right? Mercury considered as then a very, very young planet. And these people, even if you're across the middle age also, this people looks very young. When the second lord, it represents your face also, right? Mercury also represents your face. Whose face will be looks very young. Some people may underestimate your age or overestimate your age. This will happen when the second house lord is the Mercury. Okay, now coming into this one point is clear, right? When the second house and first house combination, later on we combine the significance of the particular graph. Then the situation will come. Imagine a situation. I will do one more thing. Okay, this is the Magara Lagna. Your Sunny becomes your second law. And the Sunny is also in the Magara Lagna. Then you will ask, but if these people look like aged? No, not exactly. Then how it will be? They mature in their behavior. The personality will, even in their young age also, they behave like an adult. It can be expressed in the face. It can be expressed in the speech. Their kind of the maturity level they will speak would really attract them. One or the other way, the graha will have one kind of effect in you, no matter what. The graha, whichever it is sitting, it will show its behavior no matter what. Okay. So get back into the same example again.
So Vanita, it is based on the planet there, right? That is what you're saying. So depend if it's Saturn, it is different. If it is Mercury, it is different. That's what that trait of the planet.
The trait can be depends. That's what I'm saying. The trait is not, it's not written on the stone. See, the second house Lord was sitting in the first house means it can be in the speech, it can be in the space, it can be in the place, it can be in the wealth. In any one of the thing, the traits will comes into a thing.
But no matter what the planet is.
No matter it, somewhat it will be come into the place. Even if
Okay.
they deny also it will come in because the graha which is placed in the bhava, it will do its duty no matter what.
No,
So that's
that was
why-
my question also. Like it is based on the graha there or it is not, irrespective of the graha there.
No, it is based on the graha only. See, that's
Okay.
what I initially I told you. This is your second, what is the Mercury? Mercury was placed in the Rishabha. The general rule is when the second house Lord was present in the first house means they are looking very pleasant. They are very charming, attractive. But then how they will be look pleasant? They are, if the Mercury was present, they are pleasant, even it looks like a young. They are very
Okay.
prideful. But imagine a situation, Venus is your second house Lord.
Then money.
They may not look young, they look like an adult, but still they are very charming. They are still very
Okay.
young and attractive. And your second house Lord may be a Saturn, but even then these people are looks like an aged people. They are very charming and attractive. Okay?
Oh, got it.
What I am telling here is, this is a general rule. The second house Lord of placed in the Lagna means they are look pleasant only, but how they will, it will be implied by your grahas which is present. Then the question may arise: did I then have any graha in my second house? How I will look like?
Yeah.
The owner of the house, mostly owner of the house. Okay, one thing, important thing. See, you may also check and see. Most of the time, whenever I try to see this, it really works. Okay, yes. Okay. This is your Tula Lagna. Who's your second house? Look, Mars, right? Absolutely.
Mars.
Yeah.
Mars.
Even the Mars was placed in anywhere. Check with these people who have the second house as the Mars. They have at least one kind, any kind of the mark on their face, even for a small mark. In it can be come by the kind of an ulcer which is come and dried up, and the skin becomes like that. But one or the other way, it will comes like that.
Because
Particularly in
being
the
a
face.
warrior planet, is it? That's what you
Yes,
said.
Mars
Okay.
will Mars indication will be there no matter what. You try and see this kind of the people how they will looks like, and the same goes for here. When you have the Vrikshika Lagna and you have this the Dhanu Rashi and this really chubby people, and you can see this chubbiness because that is the Guru's house. Even if they're not having the chubbiness in the face, their speech will be really matured. You might think like there was a 14-year teenager was speaking in front of you, but you feel like 40-year young man was adult was speaking to you. You may feel that kind of the maturity in the speech, or it can be in their face also. One or the other way, the grahas will tell you, "Ye, I'm here," like that. Okay.
Oh.
Now let's coming into the second point. Mostly they are bold and outspoken, but here it's they also backfire them. The boldness is it's helping in their life, but sometimes they are very much outspoken. It backfires them also. But if it was, there is also situation here. If there was a Mars in your second house, these people are literally outspoken and they are hit directly on your face. Okay. But if it was a Mercury, it was diplomatic. The speech will be bold with mild. This combination is it's really rare. They are bold in speech, but at the same time, it will be mild touch also. Okay? Then obviously they are a good orator. They know how to articulate the speech. They know how to communicate with the other person. If they want to communicate anything, they will communicate with it in a very, very diplomatic way. But here also one thing, which graha was present? If it is a Mercury, Mercury will communicate with you very mild way, but it will hold a sense on the top of it. It was like a layer. See, this is the gold layer. On top of it, if it was a Mercury, Mercury will give you the mild touch. Imagine a situation if the Mars was in the second house and the second lord was in the first house. They are obviously gold. There is no question about it. But how the touch will be, it is also aggressive and it was also forceful. But they know how to speak, how to communicate also. But on the way, they become a good orator. It kind of the inbuilt quality for them. See, some people have to develop this, right? But these people, it comes as the birth. You may also see, the people's, they are born with this quality. These people are like that. The second house lord in the first house means they are born with this quality, especially with the good orator. Nobody can match with them. This is the inbuilt quality for them. If some people were saying, no, Rita, my second house lord in the first house and I can't orate well, that won't be happen. If it was to happen, something blockage in you only. That is inbuilt quality. Then the question will come: how come the inbuilt quality can be blocked by something? The inbuilt quality can also be blocked by your emotional blockages. Even if you are born with that, your quality cannot be expressed until you remove the emotional blockages. Now, coming into the next one. Most probably, 99% of the people born in a very, very well-versed family, they are because the second lord in the first house, the money it's a part of their life. Okay, maybe full of their life. They are born in a silver family. They are really wealthy. Okay, an important thing. Second house is also mentioned about the financial management. They're very good in financial management because second house is the liquid has cash in, cash out. They are very much good in the financial management. Even if you're giving 100 rupees, 100 crores, they know how to manage this money. Okay. And one important thing about the very interesting thing about the second house lord in the first house is they're witty in nature. They have the good sense of humor. Even they are having a very great dialogue of speech. Number of paragraphs they are delivering, and it will show the wittiness in every part of the paragraphs. Even if they are written a book, even if they are speaking with somebody, colloquial, whatever it is, the wittiness will come one or the other way. The sense of humor, you can sense it every minute. When you speak with this kind of the people, you understand that, oh, their level of sense of humor is super. I can't even match with them. When you sense that kind of the feeling, definitely the second a lot in the first house. Okay, mostly how they're well known. They may be, unless they may be recognized by their face or he or she having a very beautiful face, and I can't even take my eyes out, and I want to see her or him continuously. It may be anybody. It may be the face, or you can hear their speech continuously number of times, or they can well known by their finance. In Tamil Nadu, if you in not in our time in about what about the 90s, if you see in the 70s in my father's time, if anybody was if there was a program organized by Kalinger and because of his there was so much crowd. Not like that now, but it was entirely changed. Maybe because of his the rhythm of his language he used. He has a wonderful dominance in his language. Everything was attracted towards the entire the Kannada peoples, and the tone is also different. So everybody was attracted towards him, not towards his face. Remember this one, not towards his face, towards his speech. And somebody was attracted for the finance, and the most people was attracted towards the face. So one not the other way. When a second house lord in the first house means, definitely they will be attracted by either face, the speech, or the finance. Okay, this much is clear.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody having the second lord in first house? What is it?
Vinita, the humor, where does the humor come from? Because Mercury is humor, no? But here we are talking about speech.
Okay, wait a second. I'm telling the Okay, now let's consider here. Let's take the sun as a second. Now this is the Karka Lagna. Okay, who's the second lord here? Sun
Sun.
is your second lord.
Simha.
Okay, now the sun was placed in the Lagna. So that means second lord in the first house. Now tell me this, the wittiness and the good sense of humor will come or no?
No.
Oh yes, it will come. But how it will
But
come?
how?
The wittiness will come because the sense of humor is a kind of the thing. It can become to any person, regardless of the graha which is. This is general nature. But how the wittiness will be? See, if it was the Mercury was placed, it will be very young and immature. But if it was the Sun was placed, it will be matured one. That there is a dominance will be there, this authority will be there. Whatever they are delivering, that comes along with this quality. See, if the Mercury was is in your second house, and the witness will be like young and immature, you can joyfully enjoy. But it was the sun, the witness was also there, but combined with what? What quality it was combined? The good sense of humor can be anything, right? See, their sense of humor, they can be very nice. Sometimes, yeah. I'm also hearing words. When when a sense of humor sun was placed, I mean the sun delivering a sense of humor in its own way. You understand these two differences, right? This all the general points. But when the graha was present and this kind of the things we are seeing now, this week onwards only. You see this previous week, I won't combine this kind of a technique. You understand this? Or I'm still more confusing. I thought we were really mature enough to understand this kind of. Or
Okay.
you're still confused. Who's asked this one? The sun was not. Yes, no. Or we want to see one more example?
Yes, please, Vanita, one more example.
One more example. Okay, let's see it. Let's have a Venus, okay? Now you have the Kanni Lagna. Venus is your second lord. Now Venus was placed in the Kanni Lagna. Okay, how it will be?
Venus is the second. Venus is the Lagnadipati, no?
Okay, no, Kanya Lagna. Kanya Lagna means
Correct.
your Mercury is your Lagna lord.
Correct.
And second house is the Tula. Tula lord, second house lord is the Venus. Now Venus was placed in the first house. But first house here is your Kanya. Now tell me how this wittiness will be. And sense of humor. They will epic that sense of humor. They uh, they they show any kind of the sense of humor in anything. Okay, I will tell you. If this Jataka was the male, he will show his sense of humor towards the women all the time. And in other words, if that was not, let's speak it as a general way. The witness will be showing everything, like in buying the luxury products, or if buying in any kind of the luxury item, the witness will be placed in every occasions. And the sense of humor, whenever it was relevant, they will show the sense of humor in a very exaggerated way. Now imagine a situation when the Rahu was in the second house. Rahu won't happen, Lord. Okay, let's stick with the Venus. Okay, they will show this sense of humor in every way wherever there was an relevant. This is easily understandable, or it was still confusing. Wherever the
Actually,
graha was-
Vanita, my question was where the sense of humor is coming from. Is it the second house, or is it Mercury? We know. Apart
no,
from
second
Mercury, where is
house,
that sense of
second
humor coming?
second house. Second house.
Second house. Okay. Okay. Get it.
Any other doubt? Okay. So let's moving in. Anybody having the second house, second lord in the first house? No? Moving into second. Okay, now the second house, we already know about it. What is second house? Welcome. Liquid acid, speech, family, food, restaurant, everything. Now the second lord, we understand the same thing goes for the second lord also, right? If the second lord represent your liquid acid, speech, family, food, everything, nourishment, everything comes under the second lord also. Now, that means the same house having its own lord. Now let's see an example. Simha Lagna. Who's the second house? What is this? Vrishabha Rashi. Who's the lord here?
Venus.
Venus is the Lord.
Yeah, now we have to understand it. We no need to combine with any other thing. Now it's the own house signifies its own law. Okay? Now that means the second lord, Venus, was in the second house itself. Okay, you understand this one point, right? Second house lord is Venus. The Venus sitting as own house, second house.
Yeah.
These people are highly intellectual and knowledgeable. Now comes into the intelligent and knowledge, the second house. If the second house lord is also sitting in its own house, the highly intellectual and knowledgeable will come into this. This is all the representation of the second house, none other than that. Okay? Highly intellectual, knowledgeable is also a part of the second house. Okay? The wisdom and maturity come on its own way, but when the second house lord in the second lord is in the second house means the wisdom and the maturity, they're born with that kind of maturity, kind of the wisdom they are holding in there when they are born. It will be increased when the age grows. But when they're born itself, their wisdom will be in a quite high level. Financially, yes, obviously they are financially good. When there was a second and first house combination, or second and the second house combination, what is that meaning? Second lord present in the womb, second house means the wealth is immeasurable. Definitely they are financially sound. Okay? They know how to express themselves. Their self-confident level is no one can beat them. They know how to self-express. Most of the peoples, if there was 100 people in the room, 60 out of the 40 people were not able to express themselves. They coming into that category. But when the second lord in the second house means, they know how to express themselves. They know how to show themselves very powerfully, not in a very degrade manner. They know that's why the self-confidence comes into the picture. They express themselves very beautifully, and they also carry themselves very beautifully. At any point in time, they don't degrade themselves. They won't come into the self-pity side. They never come into the self-pity mode. This is very good for every individual. And they know what they want to do in their life. These people are very particular because the self-confidence gives them the hand holding them to go into the path whichever they choose. Okay, this one you have to remember all the time. Practice what they preach. Okay, when you see number of the horoscope, the people will say this person saying something is able to whatever they were saying. How you can predict that? When there was a second lord in the second house, means you can say yes. Whatever they are saying, what even small amount of the things which were there expressed. This is the things we have to do, and this is the things how it will be done. They preach like preachers, great preachers. When the sorry, okay, when there was a if they elaborate what they want to do in their life, they will do themselves also. It's all the good preachers as well as the doers also. So they practice what they preach. Most importantly, you may wonder how come the lord in the second house gives a self-confidence. importantly, they know about their capability and the competency in which area I'm powerful, which area I can show my power, I can show my intelligence or whatever it is. They know their capability, they know their competency level. That's gives them the self-confidence. Okay, when I enter into this arena, I know how to succeed in this. I know how to come out of this arena with a successful note. They know their capability. So that's why they lead into their self-confidence. And when the second lord in the second house means it's really good for any engagement. Okay. Anybody having the lord in second house? Yes, no?
No, don't have that.
Okay, now we have a question. Anybody remember which is your second house, which is your second lord, and where it was placed? Okay, anybody? You remember you have to remember your horoscope at this point in time, right? You remember your horoscope? Yes, no?
No, I don't.
I have a chart where the second lord is in the 8th house.
Your lord, which is your lagna?
Lagna is Kataka.
Kataka lagna. And your second, who is your second lord?
Sun.
Sun was in the Kumbha.
8th house. Yeah, 8th house along with Mercury.
Okay. So remember this, when we coming into the 8th house, we have to read the same chart again.
Yeah.
Whenever we are going through that, imagine your horoscope only. So now I will tell you mine. I have the Tula Lagna. Mine was the Mars. I have Nugraha in the second house. My Mars was in the 12th house. I will tell you what this kind of 12th house Mars will do. Then I will move into the second lord in the third house. Remember your horoscope. All the time remember your horoscope. If you, at this point, you just remember the house and the graha. If you are able to remember more, remember the degree of the graha also. If you can do more, remember the nakshatra also. You understand this point, right?
Yeah. Right.
Awesome. The second lord in the third house. This is the Bhava Bhav. How come it is the Bhava Bhav? Anybody can tell me why it is the Bhava Bhav?
Second from second.
Second to second. Okay, let's see that. You know, you have a Mesha Lagna. Which is the third house here?
Mithuna.
The third house here. Who's the second house here? Rishabha is the second house. The Lord is the Venus. The Venus was sitting in the third house. Third house. So that means for your second house, the second house, right?
Yeah.
That is the Bhava Bhav.
Oh.
Now let's see about this one. Okay. We understand about the second house already. We have that keep that in mind. Phase which your liquid assets comes into the second house. Now that second house Lord is sitting in the third house. What is the third house? Anybody? Your ambition, courage, autumn passion. Anybody was coming and asking you, if I can be able to do this, what? Why I can do what? Okay. If somebody was asking, this is the thing I want to do in my life, can I do that? If your third house was powerful, there was no one will stop. So that is your aim, ambition, courage, and your involvement in art, passion. How communication is comes in this modern world. all kind of the communication, whatever the type, whichever the media which you are using, everything comes under the communication. Okay, the people, your colleagues in the neighborhood also comes into the third house. Keep that in mind. Now we have combined in the second house Lord in the third house. Okay. When the second house Lord comes into the third house means their valor, wisdom and courage, they definitely have this kind of the courage inside. So what is this meaning? There is a connection between the second and the third house. The connection is this Lord was sitting in the third house. Okay. These people are not interested in spending. Most of the time, the people will think them as they are very mean in their spending, but they are very much interested towards what they want to spend. If they feel any one point, imagine a situation, they have a scale in their mind. Okay, if there was one point was saying it is unnecessary, they won't spend. But for the others, they will think that is, oh, this person was very stingy in money and this, that, and. But according to the scale was telling, okay, this is an unnecessary spending. So they won't spend. Okay? And they're very good communicators. When the second house was coming into the communication as well, imagine the second house is your speech and comes into the connection between your communication house. Communication means any kind of the communication, whether they are writing, speaking, whichever the way they are very well good communicator in every kind of a media. And importantly, they are interested in music and finance. Of course, yes. Okay, because the third house, mind here. The second house it tells about and third house it tells about your art and fashion. Yes, they're very much interested in. They definitely have the intellectual company. Why? Because the third house represents your colleagues in the neighborhoods. Definitely, they are surrounded with the people who are very much the intellectual level is really high. Most probably, when the second and the third house are combined, these peoples are they don't follow any rituals. The people will call it as an atheism, but these people want to put everything into an action. They don't want to do any kind of a ritual, but they want to put their effort and they put their effort and they whatever the effort which is comes as in benefit, they enjoy that. Okay, so you can call it as an atheism, but simply they are not ritual person. They don't believe in kind of any kind of rituals comes into place. Okay. Anybody who is having the second lord in the third house? So you should remember your horoscope very well. Okay? Whenever you feel that okay, this is first read your horoscope very, very well, then you will understand everybody easily. Okay? Let's moving into fourth house. Second lord in the fourth house. We already know about the second house. Remember their face, speech, and your wealth and the liquid assets. Now coming into the fourth house. Fourth house. Anybody remember the fourth house? Yes.
Mother, property,
Property.
vehicle,
Is it?
vehicle,
I don't understand that last one. What is it?
vehicle,
Vehicles.
car
Okay.
or whatever.
Okay, okay. Awesome. Other than the fourth house represents your mother, assets, your happiness, vehicles, everything comes into the fourth house. Now we are combining these two. So your second house significance and whatever the second house significant, that particular lord was sitting in the fourth house. Now let's see about the different lagna. Now see about which becomes the fourth house. This is the fourth house, right? Yes or no?
Simha.
Okay, then the sun is the lord, right? And the sun is in the lagna. And now we have to Okay, sorry, my bad.
That is Venus, no?
Yes, my bad. Shubha Lagna. Second lord is Venus. Now sitting in the fourth house. Okay? My bad. My mind was going. Sorry. So second lord, which is sorry,
Mercury.
God, like really, my mind was flying. It is okay. Second house lord is the Mercury. Mercury was sitting in the fourth house. When it comes into the speech, they are as usual. When there was a connection between your second with any other thing, the first thing you have to remember about this speech only. You are very clarity in speech. You are very good communicator. And bias. And importantly, this tells about this one point. It is a religious matter. Why? When you see this, there was second and the fourth house connection was there. And they will tell you this one word for sure. I mean, if you see any astrology, there's one point. Okay, there is a second and fourth combination. Okay, your mother is very religious. Because the fourth was telling about four is telling about your mother and how they will when the second lord was combined with your fourth house, it become very much religious. Then you have to understand with our grahas present in it. If the Mercury Lord was present, what kind of religious practice they will do? If the Mars was present, what kind of religious practice they will do? You can understand based on that. Okay? Can you make it visual? When the second power related and the fourth power related, we are going to see in the two different things. Okay? See about the second power related. Their occupation mostly they are towards their dentistry or ENT, anesthetist, finance related. Mostly they are whichever the face related job, there comes into that. And importantly, their occupation can also be into the finance. Now comes into the fourth power related. They maybe enter into the real estate business. Why? The fourth bhava is telling you about the real estate. Okay, fourth house is relevant to all kind of the real estate. So they may also involved in the real estate business. And when the second and the fourth house combined together, these people are well known for the home loving person. These people are they want to be with the family. They don't want to go away from the family. And the work from home option may come towards these people. If they don't like it, also it will come to their life. Home industry, they may involved in the home industry business, cottage industry, tourism, family business. Okay, the one question will come. When you see the horoscope, mostly the people will ask, I have my father's business. Can I do it? May I flourish in that? If the second and the fourth house combination was there, the family business was really good. You can blindly tell them, okay, you can go ahead and do your family business. It will flourish in the upcoming years. But you can say it blindly. You have to see the dasha, buddhi, and the dosha as well. But when the second and the fourth house combination was there, then the family business possibility is really high. And the home, if they are involved in an interior design and architects, it's really okay. And fourth house is also telling about your vehicles, right? If you are involved in the insurance, automotive vehicles, that's also give the benefit for it. It's all the general examples, but when you see the horoscope, you may find that different kind of the jobs the people's involved in. Based on that, also you can adjust according to whatever the things which you study in the horoscope, whatever their job is that can correlate and combine. You can see if that was beneficial for them. But this is the general. mostly they are involved in the phase related automation. You can easily remember that kind of job. And also in the real estate business, when the second lord in the fourth house. Okay. Anybody having the second lord in the fourth house? Well, quickly, I have to finish the class. We'll quickly see the horoscope also. Anybody have any doubts till now?
No.
Awesome. Quickly see the horoscope. Okay, then we are seeing the horoscope. We'll spend 5 minutes, then we'll close the session. Okay. Horoscope for the Vasanti. We know everything. Okay, here. Lagnam is Karka Lagnam, Vrishchiga Rasi, Dasha, Buddhi, Anta, Mosto, Venus Dasha, Sani Buddhi, and the Mercury Anta. We have all the charts ready in our hand. Imagine we already have that. Before we entering into the chart reading, we have to see the Shatvala also. So have have a thing in the mind, okay, which is the highly dominant graha, which is a highly auspicious graha in it. Mercury, Saturn. So keep that in the rough idea in your brain. So once you have that an idea, who's the Lagnam? Karka Lagnam, Lagnadipati, who's the Lagnadipati? Moon. Kendra Tripona, you have to understanding about. Yoga Karaga also. You remember who's the Yoga Karaga for that?
Mars.
Mars, I think. Mars, yeah.
And the Graha combination. When you see the horoscope, if there was any Rasi which is having the more Grahas, your eyes have to go into that. So for her, it was the fifth house, yes or no?
Fifth house, yeah.
And the third house. So mostly we are going to concentrate on the 5 and 3. Aspects we already saw in the last week. So whenever you see the aspect also, you see the combination of which graha was aspecting which. Keep that in mind. If in the beginning, make a note of it. Which graha was aspecting which graha, which rashis. And the graha strength and the weakness. First, this one we have to see now. Okay, let's see about which graha rules the own house.
Saturn.
First,
Mercury.
the Rahu and Ketu leave it for now.
Mercury.
Now let's see. Go one by one. Jupiter was in the own house, right?
No.
And this Mercury was in own house. Sun was not in the own house. Venus
Venus, yes.
Venus is.
Own.
Moon was not in the own house. Mars was in the own house. Yes.
Yes.
Leave the Ketu on the Rahu now. Saturn was in the own house.
Yes.
Yes.
So majority of the grahas, if you see this, Mars, Saturn is a retrograde moon, and Venus and Mercury. So they are occupying its own house. There was one general rule also. The graha which is in its own house gives more benefit than the exalted and the depleted. Okay? When the Mars and the Saturn, Venus and the Mercury is in own house. So if there was a one rule, there can be the n number of the exception will be there. Okay, when it is combined with this one, when it is retrograde, when it is combustion, when combined with an inauspicious graha, when it is aspected by other graha, there are a number of exceptions will be there. So we go with the general rule first. So we see the graha was in the entirely the jataka was in the good auspiciousness. Among the navagraha, if you leave the Rahu and Ketu, Jupiter was not in its own house, Moon was not in its own house, Sun was not in its own house. That's it. Other things are in its own house. Now let's think about the house, the graha which is not in its own house. Jupiter in the 12th house, yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Moon was in the 5th house.
Yeah.
Sun was in the 3rd house. Yes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Now the Jupiter was in the 12th house, it's not a good sign. Sun was in the 3rd house, it's partially not good. Moon is in the 5th house, it's a great auspiciousness. Why? It is in the Trikona. So this gives a good sign for us. So among the Navagrahas, 5 grahas was in a good position. So we have a rough idea about this. Then based on that, we have to see one more thing also. Any graha was exalted here.
Mercury
and
own
Ketu.
house exalted.
Okay, one by one. Which one?
Mercury own house and exalted.
Mercury. Mercury then.
Rahu and Ketu also.
Leave the Rahu and Ketu. Leave the
Okay,
Rahu.
okay.
We'll see that later.
Moon is debilitated.
What is it?
Moon is debilitated.
Yeah, moon is
Moon
debilitated.
is depleted. Awesome. That's what I was. Moon is debilitated. Okay. Any other thing?
No, only these two.
No, right? So we understand about the grahas which is in the moon house, which are exalted and which are depleted. Okay. If you summarize everything. Okay. Now let's see about this. The graha which is in moon house welcomes the Mercury, Venus, Mars, and retrograde Saturn. So among this, Jupiter was in the 12th house, which is not in the own house. Moon is in the 5th,
Dusthana,
and the Sun is in the 3rd house.
third.
So then Jupiter was not in a good position. We already saw that. The Moon is in the 5th house. We said, okay, it's in a good auspicious sign. But here the twisting point, Moon is now debilitated.
Yes.
Okay? Now, here in the own house criteria, all 4 planets was in the own house. One was retrograde. We have to make a note of it. Saturn was retrograde, and the Mercury was exalted. So even then, the 4 grahas, one is exalted, 2 is in the own house, 1 is retrograde. And the Jupiter was in the 12th house, Moon is in the 5th house. Even then, it was debilitated. Now the Sun is in the 3rd house. This much clear?
Yes.
Yes. Now we
Yes.
already saw that which graha was in the retrograde. Only one graha was
Saturn.
grahas. Only Saturn is the retrograde planet. Let's see about the combustion. Combustion, we have to see Mercury.
Sun and
So
Mercury.
12 and the 13th combust. Looks like. Okay, let me see. Can you see in our Jadagam, is that was combust, Saturn, Sun and the Mercury? It's so close. 12 degree and 13 degree. Yeah, it combusts. Mercury is combust. Do you see that?
It's very close to Sun.
Anytime
Very
you
close, that's why.
yeah, anytime you saw that your Mercury was combust, you know that? Okay.
Me? You asking me? Okay.
In Tamil, we'll call it as an astral. Whenever the sun was more near to the planet, it makes that planet powerless and gains all the power from the planet. Well, this is the very good chart to study because the Mercury was in the highest position, same time it was combusted by the sun. You can see that. Okay. So now we know the Saturn is a retrograde. Mercury is the combusted planet and Parivardhana. Okay. Anybody remember what is the Parivardhana?
Exchange, right?
Exchange of the positions.
Okay, now we are only seeing about the grahas, not about the nakshatras. Okay, we only see about the graha parivartana, not the sara parivartana. Sara parivartana means the nakshatra. Imagine the Ketu nakshatra, Rahu was placed. Rahu nakshatra, Ketu was placed. That is the sara parivartana. We are not seeing. Okay? We are seeing only the graha parivartana. What does it mean when in the Saturn, let's see, in the Saturn's house, the Mercury was placed like that.
Okay.
Okay, let's give an example. Okay, this is the moon place. Okay, now imagine a situation. The Mercury was placed here, not here. Imagine. Okay, not your horoscope. I'm giving an example. Jupiter was in the Mercury place, yes or no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Now Mercury was in the Jupiter place, yes or no? For the example, sir. Okay,
Yes.
yes, right?
Yeah.
So this
Hmm.
becomes the Graha Parivartana.
Okay.
We'll leave this one. We'll have this later. Running out of the time. We'll stop here. We'll discuss in the chart later. Okay?
Nita, what we are saying, the lords interchanged.
The
Law-
houses.
Parivartana.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. We'll see that about the same point in the next class also. Don't worry. Any questions? So we'll see you all next week then.
Thank you,
Thank
Vinita.
you, Anita.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you.